Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're going to be talking about Jaimini Chara Dashas and how to use them. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out me in the channel to be notified whenever I release a new video. Be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Okay, apparently we have sirens going off. So this video should be pretty important to y'all. Also, my boy Bosco decided to join the reading. Along with the sirens getting louder. Damn it. Hopefully whoever that is okay. Okay. But Mercury retrograde is finally over. Thankfully. It has been a real pain. My audio has sounded a little whack when I've been doing my editing and stuff. Hopefully it hasn't been too bad in the recent videos. But anyways, the topic of this video, Jaimini Chara Dashas. Chara Dashas Chara Dasha is the sign-based Dasha system in Jaimini Astrology, which is kind of a subsect of Vedic Sidereal Astrology. You have Parashari as one, and then you have Jaimini, and there's a number of others. Okay, but I always use Jaimini Chara Dasha. Now, I haven't taught you all this, so when I do, like birth chart analysis videos and stuff, I haven't been discussing Chara Dasha as much. I've been focusing on the Parashari side of things, or even the Nandi Nadi side of things. But today we're talking about Chara Dasha. So, real quick, a prerequisite to this video, as Bosco leaves and fucks up my mic. Thank you, Bosco. Alright. So, with this, make sure that you have watched the Jaimini Karka video. Not only that, you need to make sure that you've watched the Jaimini Padas video. And, just recently, the Jaimini Sign Aspects video. Those are all important to understand before we start utilizing Chara Dasha. But once you do, that's when you get to play the slots, as I like to call it. When I do timing of events in a person's chart, I use 4 different dashas. And I line them up to make sure that that event will take place within a time frame that every dasha supports, along with your transits. But transits, once again, as I always say, are the last thing a good astrologer looks at. Transits come and go, and nothing will happen in your life. But when that dasha, or that time period system, shows the event will take place, that's when it will happen. Okay, so I'm going to do a very quick overview of the previous subjects. But like I said, be sure to watch those videos before you watch this one. If you need to leave this video and go watch those real quick, please do so. I want you to actually learn this. Okay, so Karakas. I use 7 Karakas. I know some people use 8. They include Rahu and all of that. I do not use any shadow planets, any outer planets, or even any upagrahas. I don't use any of that. I only use Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These 7 physical planets are what you should be using as Karakas, the 7 physical inner planets. Okay. And it's pretty obvious as to why. Rahu and Ketu aren't visible with the naked eye most of the time, except during an eclipse. And hopefully you're not looking at that with your naked eyes. Outer planets aren't visible with the naked eye from Earth. So, we don't use them. Okay, But the 7 different Karakas, you have the Atma Karka. Atma Karka signifies you, your soul. Okay? Then you have the Amatya Karka. This is the planet with the second highest degree. This signifies your career, your status. Then you have the Bhatrakarka. Bhatrakarka signifies your father, your siblings, travel, communication. It's 3rd and 9th house, basically. Then you have the Matrakarka. Matrakarka signifies the 4th house. Mother, homes, land, vehicles. Then you have the Putrakarka, which is children primarily. And then you have the Gatnakarka. Now, Gatnakarka signifies the 6th and 8th house. So, all the significations of those houses, but it also signifies the 2nd house. So, not only is it health issues, enemies, obstacles, not only is it sudden events, transformative events, even death, but it's also family, finances. Although less so than the other significators. It's mainly family. That's the main signification of the Gatnakarka. And then, planet with the lowest degree, the Darakarka. This signifies your spouse and business. Okay, so the Karkas are very important. Then we have the Padas. Now, I am not going to go into how to figure out a Pada in this video. Like I said, go back and watch the previous video on that. But Padas are very important for looking at Chara Dasha. And then, sign aspects. Because you have to see how the different signs and houses are influencing each other. Another series of videos I recommend looking at is the true meaning of signs and houses, to have the basics of Vedic Sidereal Astrology before you jump into this, because there's extra meanings. Like, what does it mean when Scorpio's in my 5th house? Well, in Chara Dasha, that becomes much more important. Okay, but we utilize those sign aspects, and the planets that reside in those signs aspecting each other. But remember, planets don't aspect each other in Jaimini Astrology. They only do so when they are in signs that aspect each other, because signs are what show aspects in Jaimini Astrology. Okay, so now that I've done that somewhat small precursor, we're going to talk about Jaimini Chara Dasha. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a chart and we're going to talk about it. Alright, so here we have a Prashna chart. We don't need a specific person's chart to show this. Now, I don't have Chara Dasha pull up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at, first off, the chart. So, regular birth chart, this person's a Cancer ascendant. Okay, so, Cancer ascendant. Let's say they're running the sign-based Chara Dasha of Cancer. Cancer is their Mahadasha within the Jaimini Chara Dasha. Well, Cancer is in the 1st house. So what's going to become significant? It's going to be the 1st house. If they run that Cancer Chara Dasha, it's going to be about their health. It's going to be about their physical body, their personality. But you also have Cancer to look at. So, Cancer is a sign of the original 4th house. So, things tied to the mother will become significant. Tied to the home, tied to land, real estate, vehicles. For instance, with Cancer being in the 1st house and this person running their Cancer Chara Dasha, they could obtain vehicles. They could get a property. Maybe their mother comes to live with them. Okay, I actually do need to switch to the other presentation of charts because I want you all to see the Chara Dasha. So, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So, it's kind of ironic this person is actually running their Cancer Chara Dasha. In the Prashna, at least. So that's kind of funny. I didn't realize that. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have the birth chart. On the right-hand side, we have the D9 Navamsha. Now, we're not going to use Vim, Shotri, or Yogini, so I'm blocking the Yogini Dasha. Nobody likes you, Yogini. But, we're talking about Chara Dasha. So, like I said, Cancer would represent those things. But you would also look at what Karakas are sitting there. So in this case, Mars is in Cancer. The Gatna Karka. So this person could deal with health issues during that time. This person could get a surgery. Because remember, Gatna Karka is tied to the 6th and 8th house. There could be conflict with their family during this time. Because it's Mars. Mars is conflict. What health issues could they have? Well, Mars is cuts, burns. Mars is blood. Who knows? Maybe they find out they're diabetic. Or they're dealing with blood clots or something like that. But these are just examples of what could happen during this Chara Dasha. The Mahadasha of this Chara Dasha, meaning the major period. We'll talk about the Antardasha, the sub-period, in a second. Now, we also have to see, is anything aspecting this? Okay, well, what signs aspect Cancer? A movable sign. We have to look at fixed signs. So, the one fixed sign that wouldn't aspect is Leo. So, we don't have to worry about Leo. So, let's see. Taurus aspects, Aquarius aspects, and Scorpio will aspect. So all three of these signs will aspect. So one is Mercury. Well, Mercury is the Putra Karka. Okay. Saturn is aspecting. Saturn is the Batra Karka. And Jupiter will be aspecting. Okay, so Jupiter is the Amatya Karka. Okay, so first off, you have the Gatna Karka in the Ascendant. 6th house significator, tied to work. Aspected by the Amatya Karka. From the sign of Taurus. This shows there will be a lot of work required during that Dasha. Because there's a combination of the Amatya Karka and Gatna Karka. A lot of work will be required. The Batra Karka is influencing this. So this person may need to travel. There could be a lot of goings on with their father, with their siblings in general. Or I was about to say younger siblings, but siblings in general with the Batra Karka. Okay. Now, Mercury is also aspecting. Well, Mercury's the Putra Karka. So 5th house. 5th house is tied to children, education. So this person may need to get education. They may have children. It depends because once again, you want to use the other dashas to confirm. You play the slots, as I like to call it. At least in Parashara Light, it looks like a slot machine that you're playing at the bottom here. You line up the dashas and see what's confirmed. Okay. So, that's a little precursor to this. But what's something else we need to look at? We need to look at the Antardasha. Okay, so Okay, so Gemini is younger siblings in the 12th house. And Gemini is 12th from Cancer. You also have to look at where that sign goes from the major period. So, Gemini in the 12th house. Gemini is tied to younger siblings. In the 12th house, this shows younger siblings can go to a foreign land during that time. Especially because the Cancer Gemini Chara Dasha is running. Now let's say this person was running Aquarius Gemini. Then what would happen? Well, we would make Aquarius the ascendant. So they're running their Aquarius Chara Dasha. Well, Gemini will go into the 5th house from there. Person could have children during that time. Now you would also want to look, does the Putra Karka influence this? To really add to that, is the are the Vimshotri Dashas from the ascendant and from the moon clarifying, confirming I mean. And Yogini. Is Yogini confirming this as well? Okay. Well, let's go back to the ascendant. Okay. So those are things that we need to look at with this. But you also want to look at what pada is running. So, let's see. Okay. So, quickest example I can see with this is Cancer Taurus. So when this person enters mid-January of next year, they'll be running Cancer Taurus. Now, the pada of the first house, or the Aruda Lagna, if you all watched the alternate ascendant videos. Moon goes 12 houses away from the first house. So you would count 12 houses away again to get the pada of the first house. And I know some people use exceptions to this rule, but none of my teachers do. Okay, they use just count from where, how many places the Lord went from the planet itself, from the Lord itself. Okay. So, the pada of the first house becomes Taurus. So, during Cancer Taurus, you see themes of the body will become very significant. Themes of that first house of self. Even though Taurus has nothing to do with your body outside of your face. The 11th house has nothing to do with your body outside of your shin. But significations of the body in general will become significant. Okay. So, that is some of how we look at Chara Dasha. But now, let's look at something else. So on the right, we have the D9 Navamsha chart. Now, for those who are newer to astrology, D9 Navamsha is tied to later life, but it's also the divisional chart tied to marriage. So we see this person is a Cancer ascendant in the Navamsha chart with Jupiter in the ascendant. Okay. So, in Parashari astrology, if you see a planet in the ascendant and the person is running that Vimshotri Dasha, you know that divisional chart comes alive. So, if this person is running their Jupiter Vimshotri Dasha, and Jupiter is in the ascendant of a divisional chart, that divisional chart will activate during that Dasha. It'll be very significant. So during this person's Jupiter Dasha, they can get married. Or themes of marriage will become very important. Well, same thing applies to Chara Dasha. So this person's in their Cancer Chara Dasha. Okay, so Cancer is the ascendant of the Navamsha. During this person's Cancer Chara Dasha, they can get married. Now let's pull up another divisional chart. Let's see. Let's look at the Chaturthamsa, the D4. Okay, well, once again, it's Cancer. Maybe I should have used a different ascendant for this. We'll see. Okay, so this person's running their Cancer Chara Dasha. Themes of getting a home or themes tied to mother could be very significant because the D4 chart is tied to both. Okay, now let's make this right side chart the Saptamsha chart. Okay, Saptamsha becomes Capricorn. Okay, so it's different this time. So Capricorn becomes the ascendant of this divisional chart, the D7 chart of children. So now you would look when this person runs Capricorn. So in this case, it would be, well, this Chara Dasha is very short. Chara Dashas can run up to 12 years, but in this case, it's by the month. But let's say this person already has children. They run Cancer Capricorn from mid-May to mid-June. Well, that month, there can be very significant themes tied to children. Okay, so let's see. Let's move away from the Cancer Dasha. Let's say this person moves into their Gemini Dasha. Gemini will last a bit longer. It'll last about 5 years, a little over 5 years. Okay, so they're running this Gemini Chara Dasha. So let's see. Let's look at our next divisional chart. So we have the D10 Dashamsha chart. D10 Dashamsha is tied to career. It's tied to your karma you have to perform in society. Okay, so in here, we see the ascendant is Pisces. Okay. So, during this person's Gemini Pisces, Mahadasha, major period, and Antarsha, sub period, we see themes of career can become significant. So this would be October of 2026 to March of 2027. Career becomes significant in this person's life. And then you would also see in the birth chart, okay, Pisces is the 9th house. So 9th house is tied to education. 9th house is travel. 9th house is father. You would also look at what's aspecting. And funnily enough, Sun is aspecting. So father, once again, maybe this person begins working with their father during their Gemini Pisces Chara Dasha. So you kind of see how these themes intermingle. How Chara Dasha works. Okay, let's look at one more. Let's see. Let's look at the Shoda Shamsha. The D16. This is tied to vehicles. So, we see it's Taurus in the ascendant. Okay. So, when this person enters Gemini Taurus, which will be from December 2025 to May of 2026, this person could get a car. Or they could have a car accident. Or they could have major issues with a car where it needs to be repaired. Maybe they even start a business tied to cars. Now we also see Taurus is the 11th house of the birth chart. So we see this person could have major financial gains during that period. Maybe their older brother, older sister gifts them a car. Maybe they give a car to one of their older siblings. Okay, so let's look at one more. Let's say this person's running their Aries Leo Chara Dasha. So we're going to focus on the birth chart for this. So Aries is this person's 10th house. Career becomes very important. Status becomes very important. Their karmic actions in the world become very important. Okay. Now, Aries is aspected by fixed signs. So, we have Scorpio, we have Aquarius, we have Leo, but not Taurus, because Taurus is directly beside Aries. That exception to the rule of sign aspects. Okay. So, Mercury. Mercury is the Putrakarka, planet with the fifth lowest degree, or fifth highest. I don't know. Y'all know what I mean. Okay. So, Mercury aspects. This person might have to get education for their career, because Putrakarka is tied to education. Maybe their children start working with them in their career. We also see Saturn aspects from Aquarius, because Aquarius is now aspecting. Well, Aquarius is the Bhatrakarka. Travel. This person could have to travel for their career. Maybe they have to write for their career, communicate, do marketing and sales. So during that Aries Chara Dasha, that could become significant. But now we have Leo. So Leo, no planet sitting there, just like Aries. But even though that's the case, it could be aspected by something, even if no planet is here. You see, there could be something significant. Just knowing that Leo's in the second house. So, second house is family. Leo is the sign of children. Themes of children and family become very significant. Now let's see what's aspecting. So, Leo would be aspected by movable signs. Now we exclude Cancer, because Cancer is directly beside Leo. But what about Libra, Aries, Capricorn? Well, Capricorn has a planet there. So, Venus from the sign of Capricorn is aspecting. Now, Venus is the Matrikarka, planet with the fourth highest degree, aspecting the second house. So, themes of family, mother, children. Family, because it's the second house. Children, because it's Leo. Mother, because it's the Matrikarka. So family can become very significant during this sub-period of the Chara Dasha. We also see, children might get a car. Like that could happen with this, because Venus is aspecting as the Matrikarka. Venus is also the main significator for vehicles. You gotta remember the original meanings of the planets themselves. And it's in the second house of possessions. Okay. But you also want to look at the sign from the major period. So, major period's Aries. Well, Aries is now in the first house. Leo, the sub-period, is in the fifth house. So once again, children become very significant. Education becomes significant. Romance could become significant. Alright. Hopefully none of this went over your all's heads. Hopefully I, explained it in a coherent way. If it did go over your all's heads, please let me know in the comments. I will consider doing a part 2 to the video. But yeah, Chara Dasha is very important. Now, initially, it is a bit more difficult than, Vimshotri. But on the high end, Parashri astrology is far more difficult on the high end. Like, once you know a lot, Vimshotri becomes a much more in-depth process than Parashri. Parashri becomes much more difficult than Jaimini. There we go. Damn, Punarvasu's running. Okay. It's enough repeated failures. That's what Bosco was signifying. He was letting me know. Okay. Oh, another thing that's very important to keep in mind with Jaimini Chara Dasha is nakshatras are not important in Jaimini Chara Dasha. Jaimini doesn't use nakshatras. Now, the reason for that is because Parashri astrology is primarily based on the moon. And for moon, nakshatras are more significant because remember, nakshatras are lunar mansions. They are the homes of the moon, or the wives of the moon, whatever mythology you want to go with. But Jaimini is a sun-based dasha system, a sun-based sect of Vedic Sidereal Astrology. So, nakshatras aren't a focus in Jaimini. Now, you could maybe attempt to implement them, but I have not personally tested any of that. But yeah, now that I have taught you all Jaimini Chara Dasha, I will be discussing it more in videos, when I do any more, birth chart analysis videos or, any other astrology videos that I do. I will include Chara Dasha. Okay. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel. To be notified whenever I release a new video, be sure to hit the bell icon and select all. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal tarot reading, or an astrology consultation, the links to those will be in the description box in the comments below. Alright. And if you'd like to donate to help support the channel, the links to those will be in the description box as well. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.